Welcome to this week's edition of State of the Galaxies. I'm your host and humble caretaker, Jace Hall. And we're going to explore the amazing, amazing world of video game achievement and recognition. Okay, was that amazing? Was that a good intro?
Amazing. Keep it up every week. I like it.
Look, I am trying to live, like, settle it on the screen keeps upping the game, and I keep on trying to match what they're doing, but they're just staying ahead of me. They've got more polish than me. They had popsicles.
I get rated.
They had popsicles. I mean, what could be more impressive than two guys with 12-inch popsicles going in and out of their mouth at the opening of their show? At that point, I mean, I don't even know how to top that.
Every week?
This content C13.
Never know what you're going to get.
I see what is that? Post-sing. What's happening? And a sacramentic A? What's up? Who else is in the chat? Who is ready for this week's State of the Galaxies, which will be
Let's do this.
filled with amazingness and controversy and more amazingness. There's the SSD Ninja. SSD Ninja. That's how it's pronounced. SSD Ninja.
Solid state drive ninja.
Yes, there's Mr. McAvoy, the god of data. And I see McCarmy Bailey. 1029. Is that a 9? That's a 9. Darren Brake. That's right. It's not Darren Bake. If it was Darren Bake, he'd be bringing you cookies or something. It's Brake.
Cookies
He's
and waffles.
telling you to slow down, right? All right.
Exactly.
Who else is here? Anybody else? Are we ready to get going? We've got all kinds of stuff. As you know, there's
Hi,
been
Jace. I'm here.
Gabs29 is here, but I'm also in the chat as well.
Hello
Hello.
and welcome to this week's State of the Galaxy, such as it is. Let's get going. Let's talk about these three things, since they're smaller. So, we implemented the derivative free track system, but if you notice, we didn't actually announce that we implemented it, because we were putting it in and trying to make sure it was all working with the site, because when you move it from the test site, there's like little things. Didn't matter. You guys discovered it in about 3 seconds and started using it and just started reporting bugs in. So, we have been squashing those bugs, and hopefully most of them are now squashed.
Eating those cookies?
Yes, I'm pretty sure. So just to explain to the people who are just tuning in, on twingalaxies.com, you're able to actually, the community can add the games and the rule sets that they want to compete under. So there's a system set up for that, and to do that, you wind up having to spend earned points that you've earned by participating in the system. And we encountered a scenario where you spend those points, you set up a game and a rule set for that particular game, but it really only lets you set up one level of the game. And what if you want to set up all the levels with the same rules? You shouldn't have to pay for each one with your points. So we implemented a system that actually will identify you as an original founder of a track and then allow you to add more tracks without it costing points. Now, there's a separate issue where to access the area that lets you do that, it checks to see if you have at least 10 submission points. It doesn't use them, but it checks. So we'll probably have to move that check to later stage in the process, like when you hit submit or something like that, so that if you have 0 submission points, but you're a founder and you want to add tracks, you don't get blocked. So that's on the list. But there was a reason we didn't announce, hey, free tracks are here, blah, 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 blah. It's because it wasn't quite done baking, but it didn't matter. The minute that thing was there, pow. There you guys were, getting it done. Go Twin Galaxies. Go Galaxians. I think that's so interesting. Okay, let me look at the chat for a second. Right, here we go. Let's keep on going. Scoreboard errors. As you know, we're constantly trying to squash bugs in the scoreboard. It's a big board with all kinds of different issues, and you guys are reporting them in, and hopefully you're seeing that they're being knocked down inch by inch. It's a lot of work, man. But those continue week after week to crop up in some form or fashion, and we work them down. And then, of course, infinite scrolling has made its return. We had it disabled for a while because when we first implemented it, there were some bugs. There were conditions that we hadn't thought of. So we've now re-implemented infinite scrolling with all the feedback that we got. And so now it should be working perfectly. More than perfect. Fantastically. Hopefully you guys have been able to use it. You can scroll. This is a very important thing for mobile when we get into the mobile stuff. So that you can just keep scrolling through everything. And so that's the update on these 3 items. Does anybody have any questions on these 3 regarding free tracks or anything like that? I'll give it 10 seconds. If you do, type them in or Skype in and talk to me. In the meanwhile, on we go. Ah, yes. You may or may not have been privy to the speed running community's interaction with Twin Galaxies as a result of Twin Galaxies adding the rule sets that the speedrun community has created so that people who are in Twin Galaxies can compete under the Twin Galaxies submission and adjudication process. So the summary was there were members of the Twin Galaxies community that wants speed running, non-traditional speed running. Let me back up. Twin Galaxies has had speed running. It's had speed running for since ever there were timed video games. However, it has always taken a position that things like glitches, when it comes to speed running, are not kosher. And so it would have what we will now refer to as a traditional Twin Galaxies speed running track. Twin Galaxies' desire to stay within the letter of the law of that idea displeased people who are interested in speed running, who wanted to include other factors in terms of getting the time down on a speed run. So that would be the inclusion of the discovery of glitches that might advance a game faster than you would normally advance, and other methods. And Twin Galaxies did not want to really acknowledge that. And so the speedrun community that was very much into that went off and created their own sort of universe that involved speedrunning and those kinds of rule sets. So for many years, Twin Galaxies did not pay attention to those rule sets, and the speedrunning community became its own thing. Wonderful. Now with the new era of Twin Galaxies, wanting to acknowledge all video game playing skill in whatever form that it manifests itself, there were members of our community who wanted Twin Galaxies to allow those kinds of rule sets underneath the Twin Galaxies adjudication process, because the way that the speedrun community adjudicates and verifies a score has differences from the way Twin Galaxies does it. So, after much debate on the website between the community, Twin Galaxies goes ahead and brings those rule sets over to Twin Galaxies, and the minute the speedrunning community finds out about it, they have a problem with that. They make claims of plagiarism. They come into our live broadcast and harass people. They tweet up a storm. They're very upset. They're upset that Twin Galaxies took those rule sets and set up tracks for Twin Galaxies to compete on. And so, upon seeing that, obviously, Twin Galaxies' larger concern in general is the entire game community, not just a small segment of it. And it's not, Twin Galaxies is not interested in trying to create division and just arguments for, that's not the point of Twin Galaxies. It's trying to actually collectively recognize everybody. So there was a lot of misunderstanding and miscommunication that went on, and long story short, Twin Galaxies decided, okay, we will just turn the speedrunning, the rule sets that we got from the speedrunning community that we were asked to put in, we will disable and turn them off. And so where it currently sits right now is Twin Galaxies has all of the non-traditional speedrunning rule sets that are out there. It has them. It's in the database. They're there, but they're deactivated so that you can't compete on them currently. The speedrunning community is not an organization per se. So it's not like you can go to one particular body and say, hey, we want to do this. What do you think? It's a whole bunch of different communities and tribes, and if you watch Game of Thrones, it's like the tribes of the north that are outside the wall. And okay, so trying to figure out what a really good solution is in terms of bringing this aspect of gaming into Twin Galaxies is going to be a process of conversation. And so one of the things that I'm trying to set up is a roundtable discussion with some key figures in the speedrun community, and sort of have a live discussion about this to see if we can figure out how to go about addressing this. A lot of the stuff that I read that the speedrunning community raised as issues sits in a fair amount of misperception. It also sits in some of the historical ways Twin Galaxies operates. There's not a lot of knowledge about how Twin Galaxies adjudicates today, how tracks come into existence today. Fundamentally, Twin Galaxies has a different goal than the speedrunning community. There's a lot of overlap, but there are two different goals, and so they're set up to accomplish these goals differently. And the question is, can there be some communication as to why the goal that Twin Galaxies has is actually very good for the speedrunning community, and it's good for all video game players in general. And that just gets into a bigger thought process where if you're in the speedrunning community, you care about speedruns, you care about the locality of it, it's all, that's fine. How it adjudicates is fine for what it is, but if you try to present that to an external entity like the MLB, right, Major League Baseball, and you try to explain where the legitimacy lies in its processes and stuff, you get into these much more complicated conversations. And so in Twin Galaxies is about trying to have players, speedrunners, everybody, recognize on a worldwide basis, on a mass level, in a way that they understand it. So in order to do that, you have to sort of build a whole case and argument. It can't just simply be, well, those two guys over there said that it was cool. Okay, then what happens is everybody wants to know about those two guys and why what they say is cool matters and all this other stuff. So you have to be able to there's a process there, and I think we should have a big conversation about it and see if we can come to a solution. So that's where the speed running stuff is currently. We're working on it, baby steps, over time. Everybody got all upset, which is not what Twin Galaxies is trying to do at all. So to me, let's just wait and figure it out. And we'll sort it out, and we'll work with the speedrunners who we do have at Twin Galaxies. We'll be able to help this conversation with the speedrunning community. Just understand that Twin Galaxies is an organization, and the speedrunning community is a community. It's not an organization. So the conversation can be challenging. But we'll do it. It's all good. No one's taking anything personally. Okay. Let's move on. Igby 2. Now, the last time I checked, Twin Galaxies, the team there, was apparently not interested in the hoodies, winning the hoodies, as far as I can tell. In fact, let's just take a quick look, shall we? Let's take a quick little look at where we are in Igby 2. Oh, I can't even spell. Where is Twin Galaxies in the standings of this? Let's take a look now. Well, MAME Action Replay is in first place. Huge congratulations to them for being in first right now. Team PNS, notice the separation of those letters, is in second place. And then in third place, Twin Galaxies. And you have Retro Uprising, Donkey Kong Forum. I'm wondering if the competition is going to heat up as we get more towards the end. I'm wondering if Twin Galaxies can, the team, Twin Galaxies team, can reach down deep, and find some magic. We'll find out. How long does this Igby?
Yourself for going this far.
Igby goes on until August something, 8th or something like that. I can't exactly remember. But
you do have to congratulate yourself though for pushing this far.
Well, listen. I am glad. First of all these teams that are participating are winners to me. I love this competition, this activity around this. It's all good. Now, it'd be cool if Twin Galaxies, inside of that, performed, and there are hoodies waiting. Hoodies. There have not been any hoodies created for the new Twin Galaxies yet. These will be the very first Twin Galaxies apparel. And there will be 5 of them, and they will be totally exclusive. But apparently, no one on the team wants them. So I might as well just light them on fire and dance around it at this point. Okay, moving on. There we go. That's Igby 2. Now, you're looking at the screen, and it says video. What does that mean? Why does it say video? What does that mean? I'm going to tell you. We are in the process, and it will happen fairly quickly, of building in our own video system into Twin Galaxies and ditching YouTube altogether. Gonna ditch it. No more content ID headaches, no more upload problems, no more nothing. Our own custom video player, our own repository of where we house these things, total horizontal and vertical control over all of that content. We are working on it. In order to do this, obviously, there's been a lot of negotiations with companies and all this other stuff to do this. But imagine being able to upload a Guitar Hero record and have no issue, ever. We're going to start by replacing the YouTube function that we have on the site for submissions, and we'll have our own custom thing. But eventually this will be able to evolve into, when we move into a personal wall system, you log in, you'll have a wall, kind of a home base inside of Twin Galaxies. You then will be able to potentially set up your own video account for video game posts that aren't submissions, but you want to post something and you don't want to get hit by YouTube's content ID issue when you're trying to post legitimate video game stuff, you will now be able to do that within the sealed universe of Twin Galaxies video system. So it will be much, much, much better. Uploading will be faster. You will not be timed out. All of that stuff will be taken care of, and it looks great. It's totally. So we're in the process right now of doing the switchover. So, over the next week, you'll probably see this change happen, and it'll make the submission process even easier. It's a big deal, taking a lot of time, money, and effort to do this, but Twin Galaxies will be the only score holding place that's got its own video system like this, and and this will allow the greater expression of these performances to be uploaded without being hassled and all that other stuff. Because YouTube stuff, bless YouTube for what they do, but they're a giant machine, and when you upload a Mario performance and you're getting a content ID from some music license issue, but you're legitimately it's just the whole thing. You know what I'm talking about. Getting rid of it, having our own for the community. That's what I'm talking about. See what I'm saying? Let's see. Let us move on. Yeah, trust me, when we have this old video system, it's so much better. So much better. Moving on. Well, on July 25th, we are going to have on Twin Galaxies Live a Pac-Man kill screen challenge. Dwayne Richards, Don Hayes, Tim Balderramos, and Abner Ashman are coming here. Why? Well, some of you know that Pac-Man has a kill screen at level 256 and that you can't get past it. Well, I won't go into the details, but these guys now are able to get past it. They're going to do it live, and by being able to get past level 256, suddenly for the first time, you're going to be able to marathon Pac-Man. So these guys are going to go past level 256 and then see which one of them can last the longest in a marathon. We're having 4 machines built just for this broadcast. There'll be, continuous commentary. It's going to be really fun, and Pixels is coming out, the movie, on the 24th. So on the 25th, we're sort of celebrating Pac-Man and all good things. And if you are in town, we're here in North Hollywood, and you want to come by and just be part of the party, you're welcome to do that. Space is limited, but it'll be fun. These guys will be here showing the world how to properly play Pac-Man. Now, they're not trying to go for a perfect Pac-Man, but they're going to take us through the kill screen and continue on in a marathon and see which one of these guys actually is the best. I think it's going to be totally cool. Let me look at the chat for a second. All right. So, and now this is really sort of the first full-blown classic arcade broadcast that Twin Galaxies Live is doing, where it's just all about classic, and we're bringing in the pros. You're not going to get much better than these guys when it comes to Pac-Man, and you're going to get to see it all happen. We have this cool layout, this technology. It's going to be great. Please tell everybody about it, and let's see if we can get a big audience. That's what's happening. Moving on. Okay, questions. I'll try to go. I've been going. Let me look at the time. Oh, I've got a little bit of time. Okay. For those who've had scores approved by the TGSAP but were unable to upload their videos directly to TG, will there be an option to have those videos incorporated directly in the TG system? Okay. with the new video system that we have that's coming, this becomes a much more viable thing to do. I personally agree that we want to get all the performances permanently stored with the scores. And this is, so what sort of dovetails with this request is, we have a bunch of video performances from the past that can be linked to scores that are in the database now. So the short answer is yes, we want to figure this out. The answer you don't want to hear is it's going to take time before we're going to be able to do that. But we got to do that. And I want to get all the old performances linked in too, to the ones that we have. I've got a bunch of boxes that Walter sent, like tapes. So there you go. So that's the answer to that. Let's move on. I need an arcade photographer to capture it. I know. Well, there'll be a bunch of video cameras running around here during the Pac-Man thing. Moving on. In regard to the Twin Galaxies Entertainment Festival, what's the criteria? Okay, the Twin Galaxies so a couple times a year, the Esports Center will be open to the public. And this is one of those times where you'll just be able to go. And so let me back up. We have this enormous facility partnered with, John Weeks, who had the Arcade Expo. And now we've been in there, sort of improving the whole situation there. And, John wants to have it open to the public a couple times a year to generate money, to help expose people to these classics and stuff. But, in the meanwhile, we're putting in PCs and consoles and all this other stuff. So this is why it's called the Twin Galaxies Entertainment Festival. There will be more than just video game playing. There's going to be like big music artists there, all kinds of food, there's all kinds of things for a whole family to do at this event. And then Twin Galaxies will have a few tournaments there during the event. So, and we're still working on what those are going to be, in general. So you'll be able to come and participate in those, and there will be prizes and stuff for those particular tournaments. But in general, this is more like the beginnings. Think of it as a baby Comic-Con, but it's for video games.
I was
E3,
just about to say that.
Yeah, that's what, it's like E3 is not a Comic-Con. That's all about like selling video games to people and marketing. This is more of like just a purely video game culture focused Comic-Con, that's branded Twin Galaxies. That there will be some tournaments there, but it's not the same thing as when Twin Galaxies has its World Championships.
So more of a Comic-Con, but less of the size.
Yes, because it's the first one, but we believe, and the people that we're working with to help put this whole thing on, believe that a video game Comic-Con is something that makes logical sense for the world. And what better way to start it than with Twin Galaxies, and the facility that's up there and all the space that's there. And it's very close to an active casino, so that it's like literally half a mile away. There's a full-blown casino that you can gamble, and there's a huge mall with all this. So it's like a whole environment that's very well suited to a festival. And so, the first entertainment festival, we'll stumble out of the gate, and we'll try to have as much fun as we can. We're going to do some cool, fun tournaments in there, but then you'll see year on year it grow. We're getting a lot of traction of companies that want to be there and participate, and so that's what's going on.
I have a question before I head off,
Yep.
because I gotta go to bed.
What's the question?
The question is do you think now that if you advertise this, or not like advertise it, but like if you're bringing this to the public, do you think companies would be interested to be with you and more like join with you?
Well, okay, so there's I used to run Warner Brothers Interactive Entertainment, okay? So I have relationships with people from doing that. And so the people that I've brought in who are helping to construct this entertainment festival, they're very high-end people that have these relationships with like the Rolling Stones and you know so they're the ones that are really in charge of this event and will be marketing it and pushing it. And they have been reaching out to companies that want to participate, like you said, to be there and you know there's vendor booth space and stuff like that, like a Comic-Con, so you can have places that can occupy their space and show stuff like that. So yes, we're just in charge of the tournament stuff and helping to get the word out about it, but they have their own media marketing plan and all this other stuff as it approaches towards October. We will probably slowly dole out what tournaments will be taking place there. And if you're interested in holding a tournament yourself there, then you need to get in contact with us, because then maybe we can arrange for you to hold a tournament there for your group. Like if Atari Age wanted to have an Atari thing just for them there, they could, because you have to really think of it more like a Comic-Con.
Right.
So that's the latest.
All right. Well, see you later. Good night.
All right. Have a good one. Is there any way this program, say the Galaxies, can be released as an MP3 download? Be much easier to get caught up and it would be greatly appreciated. Let me think about that. Where would we put it? If we had an MP3 download, you just want us to put it on the site, we could create a SoundCloud version where it's just a link, a streaming link, or do you actually want to download? The short answer is yeah, we could do that. But I would think it'd be just as easy to watch a YouTube video on your phone as it is to listen to an MP3, but I could be wrong. More information needed for this question. All right, here we go. Move on. There it is, preview post again. Listen, this question revolves around, I'm getting ready to do my submission. Can I have a preview post just to make sure everything is right? There's two things about that. Like, you have to understand that when you choose to upload your videos, you're just creating a whole nother stage for us to like have errors. That's all it is. Maybe one day we'll have a preview for that. For right now, it's like you just need to make sure that your submission form is correct. You have to think of yourself as sitting at the DMV or something, and you're filling out your driving test, and you need to make sure your answers are correct, because when you turn it in, you can't say, oh wait, just a preview. Like, yes, it'd be great to have a preview, but much like having a ticketing system for bug reporting, there are so many things that are higher priority. Like we got to get all the icon stuff in, and the leaderboards. We're working on the leaderboards so you can see, like, and compete with other people across. This is a long list. Feel my pain, please. I'm trying. We're trying. I put up an 8.9 million on Zookeeper yesterday. I don't know why I said that. Okay, moving on. Put it on iTunes. We could figure out how to do that. There's just so many things. We're so busy, dude. Like, there's only like all these suggestions are correct. It's just like there's just so much to do. Is TG aware that some of the track importations for the speedrun platform are incomplete? Well, you have to understand, when we put the speedrun stuff up, we did not announce it. It was never announced because it was never fully completed. It was just like the free tracks. We put it up there and then we were like working on it, but then that's why it was only up for like a week or so. But then the speedrun community got all up in its business, and so we took it offline, so you can't see it. So this question is a little early because we weren't sort of officially finished. Hopefully, if we can work out a cultural communication with the speedrun community and help them understand why it's important that those rule sets are here on Twin Galaxies, as well as wherever they are. That's fine. No one wants to replace speedrun.com or any other speedrunning site. That's fine. But there are other things to consider. You want to give speedrunners the option to compete under this adjudication platform for numerous reasons, to build their player skill index, all these other sorts of things. And we'll get into that when we have a roundtable, because I'm spending all of my time thinking of the big picture issues of getting players recognized. If you ever want to see a video game player get a Nike contract for $250,000, you have to understand what goes into even making that possible. That's not going to happen without the kinds of things that we're trying to lay the foundation for. Because when you have that conversation with Nike, and believe me, I have these conversations with companies like that, I know what they're looking at. I know what they need to see, how they have to justify internally, yada, yada, yada. It's not as simple as having a board, getting some volunteer moderators, and saying, here you go. That's great for the community, and that's fun, and that's wonderful. But I see all that talent over there, and I go, we got to get them recognized outside of their own community, outside of that, so that when you walk across the street into 7-Eleven, it's someone who's not from the speedrunning community will go, hey, man, that was amazing. You're that guy, That translates into opportunities. Even if it's not about money, it can be about recognition beyond just the community, and how to build that. And some people will be like, I don't care about anything else. I want to speed run, and that's all I care about, and that's it. And that's fine. No one's trying to take any of that away. But I'm talking about the generic appreciation for people who are video game enthusiasts, whether they're a speedrunner or a classic gamer or someone who's playing modern games. An overall understanding that what you're doing, where you're spending your time, is valid, and translating to these people why in a way that works in their world. So, because once you do that, because gamers get bullied by society. You see commercial after commercial that basically puts down gamers. You'll see the commercial of the kid outside playing soccer and the parents all happy, and then you'll see the kid playing video games and the parents are all angry. Does your child not go out and play? That whole culture and mentality needs to be utterly removed from our society. So how to do that is it's a comprehensive process, and it's for the betterment of all. And so we'll have those conversations and we'll sort of work through it. But I digress. Sorry, I'm just passionate about this stuff. How will the founders of free tracks be decided? Will you take all the founders from all the different tracks, or start with the original founder of the very first track? Okay. When you create a track, you and the top 3 people who sponsored that track are registered as the founder of that track. So those people that you see listed on the track under founders, any one of those people can create a free derivative track underneath it, so they can add levels. The rules have to stay the same, It's the same game, it's the same rules, but it's different level descriptions. So that way you can completely populate a game without having to pay in submission points over and over and over again. That's how it works. So the freeness only works under tracks that you've founded. It's not that you founded tracks, therefore all things are free for you. I hope that made sense. John Smedley, that's not the real John Smedley. Is that the real John Smedley? If that's the real John Smedley, you got to prove it. Because let me tell you something. John Smedley is responsible for all of this on some level. Because that guy he's really smart. And, when I was talking about creating what becomes Twin Galaxies Live with all this multi-camera and all this other stuff and streaming to Twitch and all this other stuff, I was talking to John, who's created, EverQuest and runs Sony Online and all this other stuff. And he could understand immediately, and he was the one who pointed me in the direction of Twitch and all this other stuff. So if this is John Smedley and he's watching, I owe you like 1,000,000 times over, period. Thank you. He is a huge supporter of the video game culture. Like, I can't even tell you guys. He's like, you don't even know. Like, you don't even get a chance to see because he's always like busy making things. But he should know, if that's John, then he should know that I'm a big fan of H1Z1. So we need to do something on H1Z1. Please let us do something on H1Z1 because that game is, if you guys haven't been playing H1Z1, oh my God. Anyway, I digress. I think that's the last question. Yes. So let me hop over to the Twin Galaxies website for a second and then take your questions about, there we are. Yes and yes. So if you did you catch the Steve Wiebe broadcast where I flew out? John, will you listen? While you're watching, will you please come visit? Damn, man, come visit. I'm trying to get him. He won't. I try to get John Smedley to come here, and the man avoids me. I'll go to him. I went to him, and granted, Moses comes to the mountain. The mountain doesn't come to Moses, but you really should come here. You gotta see this stuff. I have things to show you, secret things, secrets. All right, see, I have the text compliance. He complied with text. I know you're a hermit. I am too. That's why us getting together is like impossible because we never want to leave and go do anything ever. I understand. But seriously, H1Z1, oh my God. Sorry. Did you guys catch the Steve Wiebe world record run? Like, I flew out to the Mall of America, and, the dude is surrounded by 300 people and has got a big screen, and he's playing Donkey Kong. It's like a Donkey Kong in the middle of nowhere. And that was the first time I actually met Steve Wiebe. For those of you who don't know, Steve Wiebe is one of the stars of the movie King of Kong. He was the underdog. And, I get there, and he was already he seemed cool and collected, but when I told him, I said, oh, no, I'm here because we're going to stream remotely live into our system, and so all the whole Donkey Kong community can see you play. He was like, what? What? And then I could see that had a little bit of an impact. I was like, oh, because he seemed so calm. So we got him going, and, every time, so once he started playing, every time he had like a close call, the whole audience was like, oh! And then when he would finish a level, they would all applaud and stuff. So he was under a very high pressure situation. And that's this article here. So if you missed it, we have the archive of it, and you can see it. And let's see, what else? Oh, yesterday was Billy Mitchell's birthday. Did you know that? Billy Mitchell was born yesterday. Well, wait, that didn't come out right. His birthday was yesterday. He didn't want a big to-do about it. That's why it's not all posted all over Twin Galaxies and all this other stuff. But happy birthday to Mr. Mitchell. How old is he now? 17? 18 years old. He's 18 years old, which is amazing considering his Donkey Kong record stood for over 20 years. How did he do that? You wish you knew, but he's that good. That's how good he is. Nick, did you finished the video? The Pac-Man video?
Yeah, it's on Twin Galaxies YouTube page.
Oh, is it?
Yep.
So I can play it.
Yes, you can.
All right, you can see. Smed, that's what you should come for. On the 25th, we're having the top Pac-Man players come down, and they're going to get past level 256, the kill screen, live for the first time. So the public is actually going to see how it gets done. And then they're going to marathon to see who drops first. YouTube. Okay, let me see.
You need sound base?
Yeah, sound will have to go through so they can hear the...
Because I was restarting the console.
Okay. Let's see. And then, what, Twin Galaxies Live? There it is. And then we go like this.
All right.
And then...
Watch yourself do a State of the Galaxy.
And then where is it? Where'd you put it? Videos. Oh, here it is. Okay, but wait. I'm pausing it because Neo says we need audio. Neo, tell me when they can hear it. All right. This is... After I beat you in a weightlifting contest. Smed, listen. As awesome as you are, a weightlifting contest, you don't want to hurt yourself. So we're good? All right. So this is piping hot off the presses. Here's a little ad for the Pac-Man thing.
These games bring something out in me.
That's how you do that. Man, I can't believe it. Look at that guy. That's amazing.
The kill screen on it. The score was there and just unplayable. They had to reset it to actually be able to play it again.
You pretty much have to map out things and basically play for months on end.
There you go. Boom. So were you guys able to hear that and see it? Did it work?
Well, Data God loves the music, so he must have heard
Oh, I don't know. Did you know?
it. Or, in order for Data God to say they love the music, he must be deaf.
Okay, right. So actually, it's going to be a really big to-do broadcast. Getting all those guys together in one spot, and they're going to stand next to each other because we have 4 custom-built machines just for them. And let me tell you, when you're dealing with players like this, I have them calling the place that's constructing the machines, dealing with the specific joystick needs that they have, and all of the nuance of, because these guys might go for 20 hours, 24 hours on Pac-Man for the first time, and they're going to go until they drop. You'll see the kill screen. It'll come. It'll go. They'll probably hit it more than once. and it will be recorded for the first time, and you should be there. It'll be a fun live broadcast. We'll be chatting it up. We'll have all kinds of visitors through. Maybe a couple of celebrities might stop by. Maybe John Smedley will stop by. Even better. And we'll go from there. But this is my little State of the Galaxy show. So in summary, we're going to work it out with the speedrun community. Jesse Porter has volunteered to sort of help on our end too. We're going to figure out how we can get that integrated so that community doesn't feel threatened and just understands that we're a more formalized method, a different method of adjudicating a speed run. And now with the addition of the new private video system that we're implementing, we will be able to have permanent archives. There's things they're not thinking about. You got a lot of performances sitting on Twitch. Twitch is not an archival place. And let me tell you, Amazon bought Twitch, and there's going to be a moment where they're going to realize that Twitch doing free storage for everybody interferes with some business models that Amazon has for its AWS systems and stuff like that. And so what happens then when suddenly you can't keep your stuff there? Well, then everybody what's going to download it and upload it to YouTube? Well, what if you're hit by the content ID system in that process? There's a bunch of things. So let's get those performances into Twin Galaxies. Let's get them stored. Let's get them on the permanent record. Guinness is coming down. They want to do more. So that's exciting. And we also have a couple of really interesting broadcasts coming up that I can't announce yet. That'll be really, really big and fun. So how long has the state been going? The state has been going for, well, we've got like 5 minutes left. Yeah, like Starcritus, the speedrun community has been hating on Twin Galaxies for a long time. That is true. But when I look at the reasons why, I can see, you have to understand that there's this historical connection between the speedrunning community's early existence in Twin Galaxies and Twin Galaxies' refusal to acknowledge the art that was being expressed there. So it's not like I don't understand where they're coming from. I'm through and through a gamer, a video game through and through. I can completely see the speedrunning side of the argument. And what I'm trying to do with Twin Galaxies is just something that no one's really ever done before overall. And so it takes time where you guys, as part of the Twin Galaxies community, to understand it. You've had a lot of time to understand, wow, this is where we're going. Speedrun community hasn't. They don't know. All they know is from the past, and that's it. They don't get it. So there needs to be a dialogue there. And they're willing to have it. That's the thing. I simply ask. I say, you guys, and they said yes. And so they're helping me to talk to the right people and to have that conversation. So we will get there, and it should be okay. And most modern games don't keep score. You're right, Supernautics, and so speed running is a way to measure an accomplishment. How fast can you get through Call of Duty's first level or something like that is a way, and that kind of falls in the speed running camp of things. And again, remember, the goal is not to be divisive. The goal for Twin Galaxies is to help be that translation for the community out there, the mass community out there. Be that translation device that helps someone understand when your kid or your friend or your sister, your brother, your father, your mother, they're playing a video game and they accomplish something there, that the adulation, the mental adulation that you should have for that should be the same as if they accomplish something in basketball or baseball or any other game. I always paint this scenario where I go, okay, here's what I'm talking about. You're a parent, right? And your business friend who, tends to, that you're trying to impress is sitting next to you. Now, your kid comes in and you say, "Hey, kid, you've been gone all day. What have you been doing?" And then your kid says, "Oh, I was out playing basketball all day, practicing and training hard." You go, as the parent, you're like, "Oh, okay." And then the person you're trying to impress over here, they go, "Oh, wow, your child is into sports. That's really good." Okay, that's scenario 1. Scenario 2, kid comes in. "Hey, kid, where were you all day?" "Oh, I was at chess club. We were getting ready for the Masters tournament, blah, 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 blah." "Oh, okay, well, go, hey, that's wonderful." Then the person that's sitting here, you're trying to impress, they go, "Wow, your kid must be really smart. Chess club all day. Wow, that's amazing." Okay? Scenario 3, kid comes in. "Hey, kid, where you been?" "All day." And the kid says, "I've been playing video games all day." Now, suddenly, oh crap, I'm a bad parent, and now I'm worried. This person I'm trying to impress, and this person's saying, "Oh, wow, all video games all day. Wow, that's a waste of time. Whoa, what's going on here?" Oh, that's a bunch of nonsense. That is a bunch of nonsense. But we have this pervasive tone in our society that speaks to that. And that's because there is a lack of understanding, a total lack of understanding. There's never been an organization that stands up and said, "Well, wait a minute now, hold on." There's a chess organization that stands up and says, "This matters." All you have is video game companies that say their game matters and they're trying to sell copies of their game. Riot, bless them, lots of success with League of Legends. They hold their tournaments, right? They tout all of this and, esports. They're selling their game. League of Legends is not all of esports. That is one sport inside of esports. And you've got to it's hard for that communication to take place. And so, again, Twin Galaxies is focused on that overall conversation for the betterment of all, record keeping for all, player skill indexing for all, a way for other companies that don't know anything about video games to understand the value of what you've accomplished, right? In ways that they can understand it. Because you can talk to them until you're blue in the face and just say, "Look, I did a 5-minute Zelda 64 run. I did it in 5 minutes. 5 minutes!" They're going to be like, "What? Zelda? What? I don't understand. That doesn't make any sense to me. I can't value it." So you have to have something in between that and this other perception that helps them comprehend what they're taught, what they're trying to appreciate. It's kind of how, if I say John Johnson got a Nike contract, you'll think to yourself, "Oh, well, John Johnson must be really good at whatever he does to get the Nike contract," right? You don't even need to know the sport. And even if you knew the sport and you didn't know anything about it, right? He got it at lacrosse or something. You have no idea what the rules are. There's got to be a mechanism that can speak to these sorts of things, and so that's what we're trying to do. Hopefully that made sense. Hopefully. Neo said, "I have 2 minutes left in the broadcast." Let me look at the chat. Since I have 2 minutes left, I'm just going to take time to talk about Igby 2 one more time and the Twin Galaxies team. Listen, I don't know if you know this, but there are hoodies waiting for you in the winner's circle. There's a little circle, and in there are the hoodies. But you see, it says winners on the circle. You can't enter it without the win. The hoodies are lonely. I actually left my office and I heard the hoodies crying because they were so alone. They felt neglected. They wanted to keep a game player warm. And I said, "Hoodies, I don't know what to tell you. We're in third place. We're in third place." The hoodies started crying. Okay? So do me a favor. Help these hoodies not be sad. Just win the Igby 2. That's all you got to do. I don't like to hear the sobbing of the hoodies. You know what I'm saying? Just saying. 40 seconds left. I think I covered pretty much everything. I think since I only have... How many seconds do I have left? 25 seconds? I'm going to give you a power gamer stare for the next 20 seconds. That's what I'm going to do. Here we go. See that? That right there. That's me right past the Donkey Kong kill screen. Here you go. Power stare. Practice your power stare. Like this. It'd be too keen. Practice it. The power stare. The little fists. See? Little bit of anger. There you go. I'm out of here. Is that it? What happened? Oh, a problem with the system. You get more power stare. All right, I hit that side. I'm going to hit this side. There we go. And now a double power stare.
Galaxies.